The HP Pavilion Plus 14 has been one of my top budget picks for years, but this year's update elevates it to a whole new level, and I think this is now one of the best budget laptops that you can buy, and certainly one of the most underrated. So today I'm going to tell you why this laptop is awesome, as well as what potential issues there are with it. And finally, I'll compare it to every other major laptop in the price range so you don't have to. Now, the standout thing about this laptop is what you get for the price you pay. This laptop retails for $900 but it wouldn't surprise me if it drops a lot over the Black Friday and Christmas period. Heck, we already found it available for $739 on HP's site. And by the way, if you do decide to buy, make sure to use the links down below the video. Not only do they help support this channel, but more importantly, we update them so that they always point to the best possible price for you. Anyway, for that ludicrously low price, you get a real Ryzen Zen 4 U series processor, not a rebadged Zen 3 processor like what we see from other budget laptops. You get a stunning OLED display, 16GB of memory, and 512GB or more of storage. And there are just no massive downsides with this laptop, which there normally are for laptops in this price range. So let's double click in. Processor. My unit comes with a Ryzen 7 7840U processor, which has 8 cores and 16 threads. There is also a less powerful Ryzen 5 version available, which will still be plenty powerful for most people. Anyway, what makes these processors so special is how incredible their performance is for the tiny amount of power they draw. Check this out. This Pavilion Plus 14 performs similar to Intel's high-end 13th gen P-series processors for Ultrabooks. Yet, this processor only draws a minuscule 25 watts of power, far less than the Intel version. It literally beats the MacBook Air with M2 in terms of power efficiency. And with a processor this efficient comes a ton of benefits. First, it can sustain its performance for long-running tasks. Second, the CPU's max temperature, even under load, is cooler than the competition. Third, fan noise during high-performance tasks is quieter than the competition. It's even quieter than the framework laptop with the same CPU. And in light use, the laptop is dead silent and feels very cool to the touch. Finally, it has good battery life. In our test, where we lowered the screen's brightness to 200 nits and played a Netflix video on repeat over Wi-Fi for 4 hours, we recorded 64% battery remaining, indicating close to 12 hours for this use case. Please note, our model has the largest 68 watt-hour battery. HP also sells a cheaper one with 51 watt-hours. Be careful not to buy the wrong model. Anyway, to round out this laptop's performance, this processor has decent integrated graphics, so you should be able to enjoy some casual gaming on it. And all versions of this laptop that I can find come with a healthy 16GB of memory, which is a relief. This unfortunately is still not the norm for new laptops in 2023. Display. The next great thing about this laptop is the display. It is a vibrant OLED panel. It is very color accurate, it's bright, and it has a fast 120Hz refresh rate, which by the way, you can set to dynamically lower to 60Hz when you're running on battery. Heck, you can even run it at 48Hz for even longer battery. The display panel is also high resolution, so text looks nice and sharp on screen. In my Excel test, where I measured how much text I could comfortably see on screen without needing to squint, I saw a solid 34 rows, which is great for a laptop this size and at this price point. Heck, it tied with my Asus 14X, which has a larger 14.5-inch display. The reason for this is the amount of text that you can see on screen without needing to squint is determined by several factors: the screen's size, brightness, and pixel density. All of these factors are very good on this screen. Now, there are other cheaper screen options available for it, but I would try to avoid them and get this one. Those displays are substantially dimmer and one has poor color accuracy. The keyboard feels decent for a budget one. Keys have a satisfying click to them. And finally, HP has listened and stopped putting light-colored keys on a laptop that has a light-colored backlight. I've been complaining about this for years. That used to make their keys very hard to make out in certain lighting conditions. All is good here. The webcam is very good for a laptop at this price point. It's got an unusually high resolution 1440 and video and audio quality, as you can see, both are very good, which makes this laptop an excellent choice for those working from home. The port selection and their speeds are also pretty good. You've got 2 USB-C ports that both support 10 gigabit data rates, as well as DisplayPort 1.4 and are where you charge the laptop. You've also got an HDMI 2.1 port, 2 USB-A ports, and a headphone mic combo jack. Alright, that's a lot of positives. With them out of the way, here are the things that you should be aware of if you're considering buying one. Firstly, it looks like a cheap laptop. I have the natural silver version. Hopefully the moonlight blue or the tranquil pink will make it look better. Apart from looking cheap, it is quite solidly built, with an exception being a small amount of flex on the keyboard deck. Talking about the keyboard, it takes time to get used to it if you haven't used one of these HB keyboards before. It shifted a little to the left to make room for the column of dedicated page up, down, home and end keys. I find this layout regularly causes me to mistype, as I'll hit the page down key expecting that to be the enter key, as that's where it normally is. If this is your only laptop, you'll probably get used to it. In fact, you might even enjoy having these as dedicated keys. But for me, I found it difficult, as I do regularly switch between other computers and laptops with standard layouts. Next, as I said, the keys have a satisfying click to them, but they do feel a little low travel. You can feel them bottoming out, which made my hands feel a little tired after typing for a while on it. Next, the display does exhibit PWM flickering at all brightness levels. PWM flickering is where the screen turns on and off extremely fast so that the panel can give the effect of lowering the brightness. OLED panels are wonderful in the sense they give you true blacks and vibrant colours, but unfortunately they all seem to use PWM flickering to lower the brightness. What's unusual and worse about this one is it exhibits this behaviour even at its full brightness. I've only tested one other laptop that does this. That being said, I have very sensitive eyes and I'm completely neurotic, as you guys well know. I personally didn't have any problems with this display, but as always, I wanted to be totally transparent with you guys about it. Now, I want to go back to the ports for a second. It would have been nice to have at least one USB 4.0 port for the fastest possible speeds. But for a laptop in this price range, the ports, as I said earlier, are pretty good. The trackpad is totally usable and I was accurate on it, but it isn't the smoothest to glide your fingers across. The sound from the speakers gets extremely loud, but the quality isn't there. It sounds tinny and has absolutely no bass. And at full volume, you will definitely hear some distortion. Lastly, under load, like installing programs or updating the system, it did get noticeably warm under the right palm rest and I did hear some fan noise. So, as you can see, there aren't a lot of downsides other than it being the ugly duckling and some occasional fan noise. You really are getting a laptop that punches way above its price point. Honestly, there just isn't anything quite like it. Lenovo Yoga 6 has a lower resolution dimmer screen, and it has an older Zen 3 processor. The Yoga 7 is a nice quality feeling laptop, but its display is substantially worse. Plus, that laptop uses a low powered Intel processor, which doesn't perform at the same level. The only thing those Yogas have over this one is their 2-in-1 convertible form factor. Samsung laptops feel lighter, which is nice, but their keyboards aren't as comfortable, they feel very low travel, and they use Intel P series, so expect to hear more fan noise, feel more heat, and get shorter battery life. The MacBook Air with M1 is priced in a similar range, but that laptop came out 3 years ago, and it's now starting to get a bit long in the tooth. This laptop is more powerful for most tasks, has a larger screen, and I can't believe I'm saying this, has better battery life. Finally, we have Asus's ZenBook range. Those laptops feel more premium and they look nicer. They also have more comfortable keyboards. But the ZenBook 14 uses an older Zen 3 processor, so it won't be as powerful, particularly in single core. It does have a large battery though, so its battery life is similar. So, if you want a nicer looking laptop with a better keyboard and are happy to trade off some performance for it, check that out. The ZenBook 14X has a larger 14.5-inch OLED display. It doesn't exhibit PWM flickering at full brightness like this one does, and it has an Intel 13th Gen 8 series processor, which is substantially more powerful. That being said, that laptop being an Intel one has far worse battery and you will hear some fan noise. So I'd only consider the 14X if you're doing something like software development where you can really make use of the extra CPU performance and where you'll appreciate the more comfortable keyboard. This leads me to my conclusion. At around $750 US, this laptop is fantastic and one that most people shopping in this price range should strongly consider. Well, that's all for today, folks. If you like this video, you know what to do. Smash the like button, click subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. The more you help us grow the channel, the more videos we can create for you. Plus, as I always say, it makes my dearest mother very proud. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.